Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning, reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7, text number 34, the son of Drona punished. Sibiraya Nishantam Rajva Bhadva Ripumbalat Praharjuna Prakupito Bhagavan Ambujekshanaha Sibiraya Nishanam Tam. Try that again. Sibiraya Nishantam Rajva Bodhva Rupam Balat Praharjunam Pakupito Bhagavan Amuchekshana Sibiraya Nishantam Rajva Bodhva Rupam Balat Praharjuna Prajupito Bhagavan Ambujeksanaha Sibiraya Nishantam Rajva Bhadva Ripum Balat Praharjunam Prakupito Bhagavan Namuchekshanaha Sibiraya Nishantam Rajva Bhadva Ripumbalat Praharjunam Prakupito Bhagavan Namuchekshanaha Mataji. Sibiraya Nishantam Rajva Badva Ripum Balat Praharjanam Prakupito Bhagavan Ambuchekshana Sibiraya. On the way to the military camp. Ninishantam, while bringing him. Rajva, by the ropes. Badva, bound up. Ripum, the enemy. Balat, by force. Praha, said. Arjunam, unto Arjuna. Prakupita, in an angry mood. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Ambuja Ikshanaha, who looks with his lotus eyes. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki. After binding Ashvatthama, Arjuna wanted to take him to the military camp. the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, looking on with his lotus eyes, spoke to angry Arjuna. Purport. Both Arjuna and Lord Krishna are described here in an angry mood, but Arjuna's eyes were like balls of red copper, whereas the eyes of the Lord were like lotuses. This means that the angry mood of Arjuna and that of the Lord are not on the same level. The Lord is transcendence, and thus He is absolute in any stage. His anger is not like the anger of a conditioned living being within the modes of qualitative material nature, because He is absolute. Both His anger and pleasure are the same. His anger is not exhibited in the three modes of material nature. It is only a sign of His bent of mind towards the cause of His devotee, because that is His transcendental nature. Therefore, even if He is angry, the object of anger is blessed. He is unchanged in all circumstances. Om Jnanatamandandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshram Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukram Krotavachala Pangam Vaiteka Yat Kripa Tadaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatadanam Vanchakapatubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It's described in the Skanda Purana that there's 6 types of offenses that one can commit to a Vaishnava. We have our 10 offenses to the holy name, so there's 6 offenses to Vaishnavas. The most grievous is to physically harm a Vaishnava. And Ashvatthama, he very offensive, killed the 5 sons of the Pandavas and Draupadi while they're sleeping. I mean, you can't get more offensive than that. Another one is to criticize a Vaishnava, to get angry at a Vaishnava, to be envious of a Vaishnava, to not receive a Vaishnava in a nice way, to not welcome him in a nice way. And the last one is when you see a Vaishnava and you don't feel happiness when you see him, that's an offense. Yeah, it gets more and more subtle. Yeah. So just like we had to be careful, and we're chanting the holy name, avoiding the 10 offenses, we had to also be careful in association with devotees, that we not offend devotees, because devotees are very dear to Krishna, and if we offend devotees, then Krishna, he's not pleased. So here in this instance, Ashvatthama, he's in a very awkward situation. Yeah. Arjuna is not pleased, Krishna is not pleased. And as we heard yesterday, the reaction for Ashvatthama's great offense is he continues living. He's in the Himalayas to this day, 5,000 years later. I mean, I don't remember how many thousands of years he suffers. He can't die. He probably wants to die because You think it's cold here. It's cold up there, Himalayas. So he has to suffer so much because of this offense. So here it's mentioned that Krishna, he has lotus eyes. It's described that there's 8 parts of Krishna's body that resemble a lotus flower. Let's see if you find out what they are. Huh? Eyes, yes. 2 hands, yes. Yes, there's 6, and 2 more. Lotus face, 1 more. Whoever gets this one gets the Mahaprasadam. Huh? No. 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 Huh? No. Navel. Yes. And there's 24 and a half that resemble a full moon. Let's see how you do with that. 24 and a half. Huh? Huh? Face, yes. Face is very beautiful. Madaram, madaram, bapu asirvibhor. Madaram, madaram, vadanam, madaram. Madhugandham mridu smatam etadaho. Madaram, 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 madaram. That the form of Krishna is very beautiful. More beautiful than the form is his face. And what is most beautiful is his smile, his honey sweet smile. So that's 24 and a half. Yes, that's 3. Cheeks. Yeah, that's 4. Sandalwood pulp on his forehead. His nails, there's 20 of them. Fingernails and toenails. So that's 24. Now there's just a half left. The forehead is the half moon. Very beautiful. Krishna's very beautiful. A few days ago, I met God in Croatia. And he didn't have any lotus flower looking resemblance. He was an old, ugly guy. It's amazing how people, they can be in such illusion. Uh-huh. Maybe he was Kalki. No, he wasn't strong. He's also doubled over weak. No, didn't have his horse. So Krishna is very attractive. He's so attractive that the gopis, they thought that Lord Brahma was not a very good creator because they were created with eyebrows and eyelashes. They blinked their eyes and they couldn't see Krishna for that moment, and they were just like, how could he create eyes with eyelids? We can't see Krishna. During this class, we're all going to blink our eyes so many times we don't even notice. But the gopis noticed. Just that moment where they couldn't see Krishna. They couldn't appreciate Brahma's creating the eyelids. So he's very attractive, Krishna. And here also it's mentioned that Ashwatthama was bound. Nobody likes to be bound. Nobody wants to be constricted. Nobody wants to be in prison. But that's the nature of this world. People are bound by the modes of material nature. Someone may not be in prison. Actually, there's instances. For instance, in America, we have something called we have the prison ministry, and people become devotees in prison, and they write letters to the prison ministry, and they say, "I'm in prison now, but now that I've been practicing Krishna consciousness, I feel more free while I'm in this prison than I was when I was out of the prison." How is that? Because they're becoming more and more free of the modes of nature. Isn't it amazing? Feel freedom in prison. Because they get free of the bondage of the modes of nature. Yeah. So this material world, it's like a prison. And in America they call them correctional facilities. Here also, prisons. They have that name for prisons, correctional facilities. Because the idea, they use this word, correctional facilities. Because the idea is someone goes into prison due to some, wrong activity. They go to prison and they learn they learn some vocation. They learn how to do something like welding or carpentry. They learn how to do something so that when they get out of prison, they're able to do some practical work. So they don't have to engage in more criminal activities. So this whole material world, it's a correctional facility. And Krishna, he has his way of correcting us. It's like we have these threefold miseries. Miseries coming from our own mind and body. Miseries coming from nature. Miseries coming from other living entities. So which one do you think is the worst? Mind, yes. Yes. There was one very wealthy man, the Avanti Brahmana, very wealthy. But he was also very stingy. You know the word stingy? He wouldn't even feed himself properly. What to speak of his family members? He just didn't want to spend money. He just liked to know that he got all this money. Yeah. It's like here also people that go onto the internet and they like to see how much money they have in the bank. Yeah. I know this one. I was distributing books in the San Diego Zoo, and there's one elderly man. He must have been 75, 80 years old. We would talk sometimes. And he came up to me and said, "I just won $1 million in the stock market. Now I got $3 million. So I said to him, "What are you going to do with all that money? You're an old man. You're ready to die." He said, "No, I just love having all that money in the bank." He would just go on the internet and just see all that money in there. They take pleasure just knowing they have money. So this person was like that too. He didn't like to spend it. He just liked to get more and more. But due to circumstances, due to fate, the government took some, and thieves took some, and eventually he lost everything. He lost everything. It happens sometimes in this world also. Millionaires just lose everything. So he was miserable. He was suffering so much. But in his suffering condition, he became detached. Krishna forced detachment. It's like Krishna, he says to Yudhisthira, to show special mercy, I take away everything. Yashaham anuganami Hirashe taddanam shanai. So he was suffering. But he became a mendicant. He actually started advancing in the spiritual life, chanting the names of Krishna and doing austerities. And people would mistreat him. Sometimes they would spit on his food that he had begged, and they would harass him, call him names. But then he eventually said, Nayam jano me sukuduka hetar. Nayam devatatma grakarma kala. Manaparam karanam amaroti. Samsara chakram parivartiyetya. He said, I was thinking that my suffering was because of people. You know, people can cause a lot of suffering to other people. Right? You know, what animal causes more killing than any other animal? Anybody know? No. No. Mosquitoes. Mosquitoes kill more people. But second in line, people. People kill a lot of people, unfortunately. And we have these wars going on now. So I was thinking it was because of people. No. Nayanjanome sukuduka heda. I thought maybe it was devas, maybe the demigods. Deva, graha, maybe it was the stars. You know, sometimes people say, "Oh, I'm in the wrong star now." The stars, the planetary system. No, not the stars. How about karma? Maybe it's my karma. No. Time. Maybe it's because of time. No. The mind. The mind is the cause of the suffering. Manaparam karanam amarnoti. Samsara chakram parivartiyet. And this causes our repetition of birth and death, the mind. Yeah. In the Uddhava Gita, Krishna, he says to Arjuna, of difficult things to conquer, I'm the mind. Very difficult to conquer the mind. And therefore Arjuna said, Chanchalam, Himana Krishna. The mind is so fickle, moving here and there, going here and there, all over. It's like we're trying to chant our japa and it's going here and it's going there. Why? What are you over there for? Nonsense, come on. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. And Krishna says, Yato nischalati manaschanshalam astaram tatastato nyamyaitat atmanyeyo samnyat. From wherever the mind wanders, due to its flickering and unsteady nature, one must bring it back into the control of the self. So the mind comes up with so many foolish ideas. Just like all these people in prison now. In America, there's about 2 million people in prison. Why? Because they listened to their mind. Yeah. Some foolish thought came to their mind and they acted on it. And they ended up in prison. And people do so many fools, taking drugs, heroin. Now they have a drug that's worse than heroin. They probably have it over here. Anyone even know the name of it? Some new drug. Very addictive. I forgot the name of it. But people take drugs, they drink alcohol, so many foolish things, listening to their mind. Yeah. So we have to control the mind. Krishna says, he said, it's undoubtedly very difficult to control the mind, but it's possible by constant practice and detachment. Just like anything, you practice enough. It's like some people, they're able to play the piano very nicely, but in the beginning, it sounded terrible, right? Or some of our drummers, also in the beginning, it's terrible. Or harmonium also, but eventually, by practice, you get better and better and better. So we just have to keep trying. Prabhupada gives the example of a child. A 1-year-old child is trying to walk, and he falls down. He gets up again. He falls down, and he gets up, falls down. Prabhupada said, what's the difference between a sinner and a saint? A sinner, he falls down and he stays down. A saint, he falls down and he keeps on getting up. Keep on getting up. Keep on getting up. So daily, sometimes we subtly fall down. We forget Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam it said that to forget Krishna for a moment is the worst failure. It's the worst illusion. It's the greatest loss and the greatest anomaly, to forget Krishna for a moment. So, Jai Shri Panchatattva. So we're trying to remember Krishna every moment, because this is the best thing for the soul, to always remember Krishna. Smartavyas tadatang Vishnu or Vishmartavina Jatuchit. There's so many rules and regulations in the Vedas, but there's 2 that are most important. That is, always remember Krishna. Never forget Krishna. And therefore there's a motto in Silicon Valley. Keep the transcendental vibration going. Keep the transcendental vibration going. Either chanting or reading or discussing. Just always Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya, when he was traveling in the forest, he was chanting, Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 hey. Krishna, 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 Raksamam. Krishna, 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 Pahimam. Yeah, Krishna. That means that Krishna, he will protect me. And Krishna, he will maintain me. So, and that's the purpose of this whole process that we're doing. Everything that we're doing is to remember Krishna. And then, if we do that, then we'll pass the final exam, which is death. We're preparing ourselves for that moment. And we don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know. Could be today. Could be in another 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years. We don't know. So therefore we have to take this very seriously. Prabhupada said to one devotee, when you wake up in the morning, you should pray to Krishna, Krishna, please help me to take this Krishna consciousness very seriously, because I may die today and I may die tomorrow. And also in the Uddhava Gita, Krishna says to Uddhava, how to pray to the deity. Prapanam payamami sambitam mrityu gahardavat. Please protect me, Krishna, who am trying to surrender unto you. I'm very fearful of this material existence, standing as I am in the mouth of death. Here the deity, Krishna, is telling Uddhava how to pray to the deity. The deity is telling how to pray to the deity. Please protect me, I'm trying to surrender unto you. I'm very fearful of this material existence, standing as I am in the mouth of death. Prabhupada said, my disciples, they have two diseases. One, they are not enough afraid of Maya. We should have a firm fear of Maya. Maya is so powerful. So powerful. Prabhupada gives the example of this. Prabhupada was walking with some devotees, and there was this one of these little tugboats, and one of these big liners, ocean liners. The engine was off on the liner, so this little tugboat was pulling this big ocean liner. And Prabhupada said that the tugboat is able to pull this big ocean liner because the engine is off. Therefore it's able to pull. The tugboat has its engine on, but it's slowly pulling this ocean liner. So he said, if we're Krishna conscious, then Maya will not be able to take us, because we have big Krishna with us. And Maya, compared to Krishna, is nothing. So, by being Krishna conscious, then Maya won't be able to pull us away. So it's so important that we take this very seriously, and Krishna will be pleased. So is there any question or comment? Yes.
Thank you for the class. I have some questions related to Sankirtan. I was just thinking about this, that there are times when you go on book distribution and then you have really good days, in a sense, a lot of people you are interacting with and they're taking books. But then there are other days when books are not going so much. So is it our desire, is it our consciousness, or what it is?
Very good question. Sometimes Krishna is showing special mercy, because when there's difficulty, then those are, I call those purifying days. People don't take books very much. Then when I go back to the temple, devotee asks, Vijaya, how was it out there today? And I tell them, well, it was one of those purifying days. And those are also good, because we also want to get purified. We want people to take books. Certainly we're out there so that people can get books. But we also want to get purified. Right? Sarvapyeti yagyavado yagyakstapita kambasa yagyashistama tabujo yanti brahma sanatana. Krishna, he says, that one who knows the purpose of sacrifice becomes free of sin. And upon tasting the nectar of the result of sacrifice, one advances towards the supreme eternal atmosphere. So what is the purpose of sacrifice? Why are we doing yajna? I ask you a question. What is the purpose of sacrifice? Purification. That's one of them. Yeah. We're doing yajna to get purified. And book distribution is purification. Like Queen Kunti, she prayed for calamity. Devotees on book distribution don't have to pray for a calamity. Automatically it comes. And that's good. That gives opportunity to take shelter of Krishna. Another purpose of sacrifice is we're trying to please Krishna. And especially with book distribution, another purpose of the sacrifice is we want people to hear about Krishna. So it's a yajna. And it's good. Like I mentioned yesterday, that whatever happens to us is good. Because Krishna is helping us. He's trying to help us grow in our spiritual life. Now, of course, we want people to take books, and therefore we pray. We do a lot of prayer. Krishna, please help me to be an instrument in your hands. Please help me to have compassion. Help me to have determination. We had to pray in this way a lot. And Krishna reciprocates. And this is the, in this verse, Krishna says, tasting the nectar of the result of sacrifice. So that's the nectar of the results of sacrifice. We get reciprocation from Krishna. It's like you may be having a difficult time. So you pray to Krishna, Krishna, please help me. Help me to distribute these books. And it happens that within a short time people come and they're taking books. And sometimes so many people come and take books after praying like this. So, yeah, book distribution, it's an opportunity to take shelter of Krishna. Yeah. And it gives impetus to be very serious, because like today we're going to go on book distribution. So you've got to chant good rounds, read Prabhupada's books, got to pray. It gives impetus to be serious in our Krishna consciousness. Because we're dealing with people. And people can be difficult to deal with. Yeah. So, it's a great opportunity for growth, book distribution. That's why I keep on doing it. Krishna says there's no one more dear to me than that person who is distributing this message of Bhagavad Gita. So he's given a very clear hint on how to please God. And another thing is that there's a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Lord Brahma, and Prabhupada says in the Nectar Devotion that this verse is the guide for all devotees of Krishna. If you don't know it, it's 10, 14, 8. And to those of you that know it, you could chant along with me. Tatena kampang susamiksamano punjana evatma kritam vipakam hridvag borvir viridham namaste jiveta yomukti pade sadoyabhak. Very important. This is a prayer by Lord Rama to Krishna. He says, always seeking your compassion, thus tolerating all difficulties as being due to my own past activity, and serving you with mind, body, and words, such a devotee is eligible to inherit the kingdom of God. So whenever there's a reversal, a devotee thinks, actually I deserve much worse. But Krishna is very kind, so he's minimized what I deserved. So a devotee always thinks that Krishna is kind, and he is. He's the most kind. Sometimes it's hard to see Krishna's kindness, but he's very kind. I'll tell you an interesting story. One lady, she was a book distributor for for many years. And for whatever reason, she left. She gave up Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada once said it's 50% their fault and 50% our fault. Why people leave. Sometimes devotees can be a little harsh, be a little hard. Yeah. So 50%. So anyway, she left for whatever reason. And she was gone for many years. She married a non-devotee man. And they were married for many, many years. And they're driving down the highway, 70 miles an hour or so, and they got in an accident. And the car is rolling, and she's screaming out as loud as she can, Hare Krišna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And the car is rolling, she's screaming it out. And the car finally stops. And her husband says, are we alive? And she said, I think so. And then he said, what were you shouting? What was that? And she said, oh, I never told you. I used to be a Hare Krišna devotee. And he just saved our life. And he said, oh, really? Tell me more. So she sat there and preached to him for like, I don't know, a half hour until the ambulance, or until the wreck came. The car was totally wrecked. They weren't harmed at all. So Krishna protects. Yeah. So she welcomed that. And what happened was, she continued preaching. He became a devotee. And she also became a devotee again. So these reversals can be a blessing in disguise. Quite often, they're blessings in disguise. Yes? We have a microphone coming to you.
To some category of Vaishnavas who have to pay obeisances from a distance, do not approach too close. Can you comment on that?
He said what?
To some Vaishnavas, to some category of the devotees, we should pay respect from the distance, do not approach too close.
Well, yeah, Prabhupada said that one should not be too close to a very advanced devotee because offenses are possible. Right? He said, just like fire, if you get too close to fire, it can be dangerous. So getting too close to a very elevated devotee, it's like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He would tell his disciples to not go near his guru, Gorakshor Das Babaji, because you won't understand, and you may be offensive. He would tell them not even to go, don't even go near him. He's so elevated, you won't understand. So yeah, so we have to be careful. Familiarity also breeds contempt. Yeah.
But some devotees' behavior is Bhaktivinoda Thakur meant that some behavior of some devotees not so advanced. Therefore, we have to do not come closer.
If you're advanced, then no problem. Get as much association as you can. But if there's any leaning towards offenses, criticism mentality, keep a distance. Yeah. Keep a distance. You know, we have to be very careful. Okay? Yes. Yeah.
Actually, I have 2-3 questions, if you don't mind.
Okay.
One question is, how would you approach businessmen people on books? This is something I'm struggling.
How to approach?
Yeah, the business class.
Business class.
Yeah.
Well, just like all the others, they're spirit souls. I remember I was in the airport one time in Los Angeles, and there was just one businessman coming. One of those guys, $1,000 suit. Generally, we just let them go by and we go to somebody else. But there was only one person coming, and he's a spirit soul. So I approached him, and he stopped, and I was showing him the book, and he said, I'm completely into this. Thank you so much for stopping me. And he took a Bhagavad Gita. So we never know. We never know. But we approach everybody the same. Everybody is a spirit soul. They appear to be a spirit soul in a businessman body, which he is actually. but sometimes there's a little more fear, with the businessman type of people. But this is one of the advantages of book distribution, that eventually we see everybody as a spirit soul. We don't discriminate. Vidya vinaya sampane brahmane gavihastini suni chaiva sapakicha pandita samadar. That the Vaishnavas, they see the brahmana, the cow, the elephant, dog eater, all is the same. Everybody is a spirit soul. So this helps us to be trained that everybody is a spirit soul. Book distribution. Okay?
So would you, when you approach them, because with book distributors we cannot, with the business class people we cannot be so, let's say with others I can say, oh, you look so happy and you look like a happy couple.
No, still you can say that. Even though they don't look happy, you can tell them you look happy. Then they'll feel, hey, all right, thanks a lot. That's all right. You could say, pretty much I say the same thing, excuse me. Then they stop, I'm California, where are you from? Then offer a book to them. And praise is nice. Businessmen like to be praised also. Dantena hayatunakam pariyorna patya. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur says, you approach them, some non-devotees, my dear sir, you're very intelligent, you have all good qualities, everything about you is wonderful. Now please, just forget everything that you've learned and accept the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's bona fide.
Another question. In Atlanta, they're distributing so many books, especially, I think, Mahotsav Prabhu. And I'm just thinking about it, if they have some sort of, techniques, or he has a lot of people online that he is also distributing, like 5,000 books a day, it's just...
Well, yeah. He was in an area where there was a lot of people, obviously, to do so many books. But some people are just very empowered, due to past life and due to a lot of sincerity. Devotees are able to distribute a lot of books. Yeah, so we also can get the mercy. Just have to do a lot of sincere prayer and sincere endeavor. And pray to the Vaishnavas, also book distributors, pray to Krishna, pray to Prabhupada. And we'll get help. Okay?
One last question.
Okay.
You were talking about the, Krishna was telling Uddhava how to pray to the deities. Can you please tell me where it is mentioned? I just wanted to read that.
The last part I didn't hear?
Can you please tell me where it is mentioned, where Lord Krishna was telling Uddhava how to pray?
Where? That's in the, I don't know the exact verse, but it starts out with prapanam. Prapanam. That's the beginning. You'll find it. It's interesting that there's a Bhagavad Gita and there's the Uddhava Gita. So Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and right after speaking the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, what did Arjuna do? He went to war after speaking the Bhagavad Gita. And after speaking the Uddhava Gita to Uddhava, what did he do? He went to the Himalayas. Interesting. And he was to give instruction to someone else, I forgot his name. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki?